let's get into our theories section, everybody. And I will start because this is one of the theories that I have. So we're going to get into theories just based off the first episode. And look, I know I'm being kind of a hypocrite right now because I said during WandaVision, I don't like the theories. I don't like that, blah, 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 blah. But we talked about this. This isn't theories of people that are going to show up. It's not like, oh my God, Tobey Maguire is going to show up as Spider. No, this is like what's going to happen in the show, how it's going to affect the timeline of the MCU. So I'm not being a hypocrite. It's two very different things. Okay. So the first theory, we will talk about where we go after. That's the first theory we'll start with. This is my theory. And I don't know, Sasha, if you will agree or not, but I will lay it out and then I will get your thoughts.
Okay.
Loki is going to lead directly into the Multiverse of Madness. Directly. I believe what's going to happen, I don't think they succeed. I don't think they succeed in the end. I think in the end, we're going to have a bunch of branches, because we see in the trailer that a bunch of branches start on like one of those monitors. I think we're going to hit past that red, and I think madness is going to ensue. And they said we have one timeline. If we get past that line, then a multiverse comes back. This is how the multiverse is going to form. They're not going to succeed. They're going to fail, and the multiverse is going to form, and it's going to lead directly into Doctor Strange. We may even get because in the first episode we see from Endgame, the Loki scene from Endgame, and then we may get at the beginning of Doctor Strange, whatever the end scene is of Loki, and then Loki kind of shows up, and they're like, bro, we gotta fix this, and then hear me out, and then we see the post-credit scene from WandaVision, and then right after she hears the kids or whatever, then you see a portal and Doctor Strange and Loki walk through or something. I don't know if Loki will, but that's gonna happen. And then with No Way Home, I think this is a theory, I don't know this for sure, I think No Way Home happens simultaneously with Multiverse of Madness. I would go out and say I think it is happening simultaneously. So that's just my theory. Sasha, I will get your thoughts. What do you think about this theory?
So mine are pretty similar to yours. They differ a little bit. I agree. I think that this has direct implications to Multiverse of Madness, but I don't think Loki shows up in Multiverse of Madness. And the only reason I say that is because, do you want to go ahead, Jack?
I was just going to clarify. Yes, I don't think he's in the movie. I think it is Wanda and Doctor Strange. I'm sorry. I know it. I got a little carried away there.
You're good. I just wanted to clarify.
Like I said, at the end, I think he stays with the TVA. I think. But carry on.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the last shot of this series, and I think it'd be good, if something happens. I agree. I think a no success verdict seems likely at this point, unless they're so focused on this situation and then maybe something else pops up where it's it wasn't that the whole time, and now we have something else going into the multiverse. I would be interested to see if there's references to Wanda in this show. I don't know yet, because I don't know. Time passes differently in the TVA.
Different in the TVA.
Right, exactly. So I don't know if this is WandaVision was 6 weeks after Endgame or something.
Release a full timeline.
Yeah, exactly. They need to help us out. The least they could do would be that. That's one thing I give Star Wars is y'all have down to the year when things happen. Marvel is a little bit questionable, but I think I wouldn't be even surprised if we get to the end, they defeat whoever is the Loki variant that they're trying to fight, and they look at that thing and they see the timeline go back, and then something shoots back up and it goes into multiverse. So almost not to discredit any of the work that they're doing in this season or episode or series, whatever, but I do think it ends in a multiverse. I think it ties directly into Doctor Strange. I think that's where this is. The WandaVision and Doctor Strange are exactly they tie directly into each other. That's a little bit of a red herring. Not that it's not true, because in that end credit scene, I 100% agree. Wanda is experimenting with her powers, which will come in handy for Doctor Strange. Whether she's the villain, whether she teams up with Doctor Strange, I'm still not sure about that yet, or how I have my brain wrapped around. I do think, though, that the things that happen in Loki will directly impact what occurs in Multiverse of Madness, because I even made the joke at the end of my video today. I feel like Doctor Strange has got to know the TVA exists. right? Like maybe they don't interfere, but he's got to have a, oh yeah, there's these other guys that are like super helping me out, like as timekeepers and whatever. Like he's got to know. So I think yes, my prediction would be this directly plays into Multiverse of Madness. Loki and the TVA and Mobius will not be in Multiverse of Madness, but maybe the events of Multiverse of Madness will be referenced in this series because we don't know how time is working. And I wouldn't be surprised if No Way Home occurs at the same time. I'm still not sure, though, if I truly think that No Way Home's going to explore the multiverse. Part of me doesn't want to get my hopes up about it if it doesn't come to pass. Part of me just doesn't know. Like, I just don't want to, like, sell myself on that, you know? But I wouldn't be surprised if this does occur at the same time as Multiverse of Madness. I think that would be super cool if it did. Yeah, I just don't know.
The reason why I think that is because it's been confirmed, at least by Alfred Molina, that he is coming back as his Raimi Doc Ock.
Okay.
Like, it's been confirmed by him. Probably said a little too much in the interview, but it's pretty much been confirmed, like, that he's going to be de-aged and things like that. If we are on just one sacred timeline,
yeah,
how are they going to get here? How are they going to get here? You know, Jamie Foxx is Electro. Like, if Maguire and Garfield are supposed to show up, I don't personally know if they will. You know, it may still be a long shot, but if they are, how do they get here? If there's only one sacred timeline, that means there's only one Spider-Man. So how does that happen? So that's the only reason why I think that it's going to happen simultaneously. What I do think would happen, and I've branched out a new theory now as we've just talked about this. You know what I think what happens is we start off Multiverse of Madness with Wanda in that post-credit scene, and she goes to Doctor Strange and says, hey, I heard my kid. I need you to help me. And as they are there, then it happens. Whatever happens. And they have to, I don't think Wanda will be the villain. I think they got to team up and fix whatever it is. But in that, also, if I'm thinking branched out realities, maybe she's hearing the kid from one of those branched out realities, and they're like, I want to get my kid.
Yeah.
So that's a new theory I just came up with. I think that might pass. Again, I don't know.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that may be what it is. I don't buy Wanda being the villain, and I also don't buy that she is going to be the reason why the multiverse is. I don't. Yeah. Now that we have the world building of the TVA in just this first episode, those theories, I would go out on a limb and say those theories are all dead. I don't think that, like, they literally said in this, they were like, oh, it could go to a multiverse, and if that happens, it's madness.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, guys.
They're literally like literally right in our faces. Like,
they are, which I think makes sense even for this show to be the place that we get that information, because it's the mischievous, like, winky face, like, letting you into information and showing you what's really going on behind the curtain, behind the scenes, sort of situation. And I agree. I think especially too, which a lot of people who are diehard MCU fans maybe haven't thought about, come Multiverse of Madness after this year, we're gonna start to go back to people going to movie theaters to just go see movies who don't have Disney Plus or don't watch the shows. And so to me, the only way Wanda makes sense as a villain is knowing that, okay, she trapped this whole town, she kind of accidentally hurt everyone, it was grief, but it happens. But if you don't have that information, you just go from, oh, Vision died, to now she's the bad guy? What the heck? Like, I thought they made a show about her.
Yeah.
For people who haven't seen the shows, that doesn't make any sense. So I rescind me even putting that out there. I don't think that happens unless there's a Wanda in the multiverse that is evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
And at the end of WandaVision, when she's leaving the town, she feels bad.
Yeah, she recludes herself and isolates herself because she feels bad. She's lost everything she has to feel good about. She doesn't want to be seen as a bad guy, so she leaves. She tries to fix everything and leaves.
Yeah, so I don't buy that. And your point about movie theaters and moviegoers makes perfect sense. I don't buy that. I think, yeah, she's practicing with dark magic, as we saw in the post-credit scene, but not everyone has to go bad with the dark magic. You can control it. Like, I'm sure Doctor Strange knows some of that stuff. Obviously, he does. I don't think he has access to chaos magic because that's Wanda. That's what
Wanda's thing.
That's her thing. But I'm sure Doctor Strange knows about this type of stuff. So, and he's not bad. So That's just with me. Is Mephisto gonna be in this show? No.
Oh boy. I don't think so either. I think that was a very when the little girl points at the devil in the church window, I was like, Mephisto, but like
people are gonna freak out.
But I think I mean Loki is a shapeshifter. Even if we want to go that far, he could shapeshift, or this variant of Loki could shapeshift into Mephisto, but I don't know. I feel like Mephisto, like you said, a lot of the WandaVision rumors or theories are dying very quickly with Loki because we're seeing the actual lay of the land here, and I don't know. I don't feel like Mephisto. I don't know. I don't think he shows up. No.
I don't either. I don't look. I've heard things about like our world, like with China and things like that, where you can't like show stuff like that just because of things like that. So I don't think it would be smart for Marvel from a business standpoint to do that, because then you wouldn't be able to show the movies or anything to like one of the biggest box office getters. Like literally Fast and Furious Fast 9's already surpassed like $250 million box office just from like China and some of the places it's been playing already. It hasn't even opened in the US yet.
You got to be honest with yourself. Like, I mean, anyone that watches American blockbusters, those movies are made, and people complain about it a lot with like certain things that Disney tries to put in the movies to be more progressive for people in the United States. Those are made very small for a particular reason. They want to make money abroad, and those scenes can then be cut. If you have the main bad guy of a TV series or of a movie be like the devil,
or something that you cannot show in one of the biggest markets.
You can't. That's not gonna happen.
Can't do that.
It's I think he made sense potentially for WandaVision. I don't think he makes sense here. I think that was a little bit of like probably included because it was like, I mean, like she's just the little girl like only recognizes evil as like, that's what she's trying to say, is like it was an evil person, it was a bad. Right. Obviously that's her closest like reference, but I definitely no. I don't think that's a Mephisto reference.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, people are going to freak out. So that, and
the WandaVision stands are getting out of bed this morning, and
I'm pretty sure it was Mephisto was trending this morning again from something I had seen on Twitter. I'm like, oh god, here we go again, guys.
He's not even in some of the top 10 lists for the next big bad for that. Like people have speculated online. If he is, he's the bottom of the list. So I'm sorry, WandaVision stands. I don't think that's Mephisto.
Sorry, you talkers and tweeters. It ain't what other theories do you got? I'm trying to think in my head, but what do you got? You said you had one on Lady Loki. What about that?
So my initial thought, which has come to be I didn't know who the voice actress was of Miss Minutes, and I kind of had in my own head like, oh, would it be cool if this whole time like Lady Loki has shapeshifted into an animated clock and then, like been hiding, but because it's not the same voice, I guess it could be ultimately.
Well, we haven't
but that was kind of
yet, so we don't know.
Right. That was kind of my like joking one I had with myself, just because Miss Minutes was like kind of given prominence on the poster in a way that was like, why is there an animated clock? But I think now it makes sense, and if that's all we see of Miss Minutes, I really like her as a character, but I think she served her purpose. But I also think that would be so cool if like another little Agatha all along moment of like, it was Miss Minutes. Like,
oh my god,
that would be funny. But my real theory about Lady Loki, which I said before in my review, is not necessarily super original. I think the variant of Loki that Mobius is hunting is Lady Loki. To me, that makes sense. Also, I wrote an article about this. It was trending on Twitter. There was a marketing thing that came out, I believe it was yesterday or Monday, for Loki, and it said POV, you work at the TVA and you're like looking through Loki's case file or whatever, and it's this like desk thing, and you see his case file, and you actually saw it in the episode,
the gender fluid thing,
and it says that his sex is fluid. And to me, obviously they know this. If he's a shapeshifter, it could be as simple of an explanation as that. But what would be even cooler is if somehow Mobius has confirmation that the Loki variant that's existing in the timeline that is mass killing people is Lady Loki, and that's how he knows. Now, if we near, I don't know specifics about Lady Loki. I will admit that a lot of people gave me comments after my trailer reaction that that it's not Natasha, it's Lady Loki and all this kind of stuff. And I have to be honest, I don't know much about her. I don't know if she is another version of Loki. I don't know if she's Loki shape-shifting into a female form. I need to do research. I'll be honest, I have to do my research on that. But I feel like she's the big bad of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I like the theory. I mean, I don't know a lot about Lady Loki. I went into this not really remembering a lot about what it is. I just kind of remembered Loki, Owen Wilson after Endgame. That's kind of all I remember.
Yeah.
So like to read back up on some of this
timeline
like,
hopping.
Yeah, Lady Loki's totally a thing. So that's kind of cool. Any other theories? I think I'm pretty tapped out on mine. Those were kind of the biggest ones that kind of stood out to me.
I'm trying to think if I have any more. I mean, I guess I because I want future seasons of this show, to me this is the first one, with the exception of Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I think that could be a series that just kind of like they do kind of the same things. Yeah, I don't want to be disparaging to it, but like I could see that being a run of the mill. Like they change it up every season or something where they explore more before they really get stuff solidified for a movie. But I also kind of feel like we won't see them for a while regardless. But I feel like Loki is the first time that not only do we semi have hints from Marvel that it will be multi-season, but it feels like it could be that kind of show, with the comparisons to X-Files and detective shows and all that kind of stuff that people have said. I think Loki, like you said, he becomes a TVA employee or worker or detective or something, because he doesn't ever have to really face death. He gets to be mischievous by nature. Like what they're kind of doing is fun. They have a sense of power and control. So for him to not fundamentally change as a character, still be, like Loki, I think it makes sense for him to stay there. And I don't really want him to go, haha, I got you, and like now I'm evil again and I'm just gonna pop up in Thor films. I don't really want that. Just because I feel like it'll be, I don't want to say cheap, because I love the character, so I'm never going to complain about seeing him, but my theory is that he stays in the TVA and he stays specifically on Disney Plus shows, with the exception of a cameo or Easter eggs elsewhere. Yep. That's my theory.
Completely echo. He stays with the TVA. He's kind of backed into a corner. He can't really leave. If he does, he's going to get polarized.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think he may show up. Like I'd love it, because I don't think they bring in Owen Wilson just to be in one series of a show. I think he may show up in some movies. You may, see the TVA showing up and stuff. So we'll get some cameos and stuff. That was the one I wanted to echo before we finish this segment, because we hadn't talked about it in the segment. If I'm going to cut it for YouTube, I wanted to have that in there. But yeah, he definitely stays with the TVA. I think this is like the first like Mando, like where we can just every year really we could have another season. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we could really keep going. But yeah, I love this show. Guys, put in the comments if you're here on the live, or no, put in the comments if you're watching the video. What are your theories? I want to know. Let me know down below, and we'll talk about them and answer them. But that is the end of our theories segment. Again, at the end of every segment, I'm pushing subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Fanatic Films. We're almost to 700 subscribers. If you are here and you are new and you like the content,
just down below.
Hit that big red button, y'all. Because we're here every week. We're gonna be here every week. This is the first of 6, and then after that, who knows? Maybe we'll do Hawkeye or Moon Knight or whatever, something. Maybe, who knows? Time permitting. But we are here for Loki. We're doing it. If you've not already, please consider subscribing.